Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to do a video on something that I see come up quite a lot with my clients. Now, I am a licensed clinical mental health counselor, or psychotherapist for short, and I work primarily with men and young boys. So this is a topic I see come up quite a lot. As you can tell by the title, that we're going to be talking today about anger. Many of you may have heard some things about anger, that it's a secondary emotion, that there's maybe other things it's covering up, or it's on the top layer and there's, other emotions beneath like sadness, rejection, things like that. We will talk about that. I'll make a video about that in the future, but today we're just going to talk about anger and this concept around anger being strength. I see this come up a lot, so I just wanted to make a video and kind of talk about this a little bit. First, to talk about this, I want to talk about just anger itself and how it is very obsessed with itself. What we always say in the business is that anger loves itself. More than any other emotion, anger wants to self propagate, it wants to continue, it wants to spread, it wants to reach inside and take over every cell of your body. It often feels that way when you're experiencing it. And that anger turns to rage, and then it causes us problems in relationships, in our lives. We break things, we hurt people. Anger starts a cascade of feedback cycles, and these are going to show up in a couple different ways. So, mental and physiological. So, the mental part is that anger loves to justify itself. You know, when you've gotten angry and you sometimes say things you don't mean, or maybe you're just kind of throwing stuff out there because you're upset, and in a calmer state later on, you think back to it and you realize that that really wasn't how you think or the beliefs that you hold. That's because anger really enters the mind and clouds our judgment. And to keep you in an angry state, it's going to want to find justifications. So it will kind of influence your thoughts to never be happy with what's right in front of you. And this is the problem with anger, it feeds on itself. Another thing is that it sets off some physiological reactions. So many of you know this, when you feel a sense of anger, you're going to feel it in a few really classical ways. So that's the beating heart. The heart rate increases a lot. You maybe get sweaty palms. And then the very obvious one is that your temperature increases. Now, this is where we start to see sort of these cultural idioms or aphorisms or representations that really reflect that we've known this for quite a long time. When you can think about like cartoons where the steam is coming out of the ears, or maybe you've heard an elder say something like, "Oh, that makes me so hot," as a way to represent that they're getting angry. So it's well known that anger causes this in us. We have these sort of cultural messages that remind us of these things. Anger makes you hot. It makes you active. It's a more activating emotion than most other emotions. It really does drive behavior in a way. For those with a really low ability to self-regulate, anger is like a runaway train. The second you have that single thought, that first thought that makes you angry, there it is. It's a runaway train. You're already mad, and then that anger will feed on itself and repeat ad nauseum sometimes until you kind of run out of steam or find a resolution, or maybe you just kind of shove it down and it comes up again in a bigger, worse way later on. Maybe we know about that as well. But this is all to say that anger is very easy to feel. It's a very easy emotion to kind of fall into. It exists as sort of a whirlpool to drag us in and take us down with it. This is where it really connects with the title of this video, which is that anger is not strength. We have these cultural representations that tell us that strength is often represented in angry ways, whether it's the action hero that's lashing out or it's the politician that's screaming from the pulpit. Whatever it is, we sort of have made this connection between anger and strength. And I think a lot of this also gets tied up in masculinity. But strength is really not just anger. It's not always about dominance in a sense, or at least not dominating others. Now, what it is though, is that when we think about strength, we really have to think in terms of what it means to us. So to me, at least, strength is about overcoming. It's built through overcoming struggle. You know you're strong when you lift more weights than you did the day before. You've overcome the struggle of your muscle fibers tearing down and rebuilding themselves stronger. Strength is built through struggle. It's built through overcoming struggle, not succumbing to struggle. So if your anger is a struggle, if your anger is drawing you in, if it wants to take you over, then succumbing to it, being angry all the time, that's not really strength. That's kind of letting the anger be the strong one. So if strength is built through overcoming, then really overcoming anger is the strength. And this is a reframing that I think is really helpful for a lot of my male clients, because we are often taught that we need to take our anger, we need to do something with it, be actionable. And in a lot of ways, that is true, but in probably more ways, that's not. Do you feel like you control your anger, or do you feel like your anger controls you? Who controls who? Anger is productive. Like I said, I mean, it drives you to action. It fills you with a sense of energy and direction and movement that can be very useful. So use your anger. Don't let your anger use you. That's all I want to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments.